Well, so we've definitely established that the Belt and Road is sort of this communist colonialism plan that's really creating a alternate global system to challenge the United States. But there is one major advantage the United States has, which is the U.S. dollar. Even most Belt and Road projects are done using U.S. dollars. However, and I know you're shaking your head because it's a chapter out of your book, China's push to get a digital currency. Tell us about that and how that really is like the final nail in the coffin, I guess.
China's goal, its stated goal, is to replace the dollar with the RMB. So, and it's not surprising that they want to do this with a digital yuan, right? So why would we want to take dollars to use for our projects when we can take our own money? And besides, the IMF declared that the RMB was a perfectly legitimate kind of money to be used for IMF projects. Really? Like, really? I mean, and one thing you haven't talked about at all, and that is the Arctic. China's gone into the Arctic because it calls itself a near Arctic state. It's in the Arctic and it's in Antarctica, but 30% of all the oil is in the poles, in the Arctic. And China's gone in there calling itself a near Arctic state and says it's going to be a polar power. They're not even at the poles. They got themselves on the Arctic Council in 2013. And they're taking over the Arctic as well. This is because it's a shorter route. The Northern Sea route is shorter to get to Europe. And so China's really got its fingers in a lot of pies right now. Digital yuan is one, and that will spread for sure. I don't think that there's a doubt as to whether or not the digital yuan will make its a real challenge to the U.S. dollar.
Right. So about the digital yuan, the U.S. has a fiat currency that's no longer backed by gold, and China has a fiat currency that's not backed by gold. What makes China's currency less legitimate than the U.S. currency?
Transparency. That's the best word I can use. There's no transparency in China. They cover everything. They do not share any information. You don't know what happened with the coronavirus. We won't ever know what happened with the coronavirus. We really don't know about a lot of their systems, and we don't know about the contracts that China's made with countries like in Africa. That's because they have a system that says don't tell, or else you'll regret it for the rest of your lives.
Right. So do we have data on like the Chinese money supply?
No, we don't have data on, we only have China's data. But China doesn't provide transparent data to anyone, just like the what happened with the coronavirus. I don't know what happened, so I'm not I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying we don't know, we won't know, but I can tell you I have friends that are in China right now, and they had more deaths than you thought, right? They don't share this information, and that's the problem with having a digital yuan that surpasses or supplants the U.S. dollar.
What's a problem a country can get into if they either adapt the digital yuan directly, or if they start say pegging their currency to the digital yuan, or use it as a base for their own currency? Like what's a specific issue they could run into that they're not getting into now?
China controls them. They can move the money. They can change the value of their currency. You could, on a small level, and it's not a financial level in the same way, is if you think about Angola during the pandemic. Angola had all this oil, and China had these loans to Angola. And during the pandemic, the oil prices dropped, right? So this is kind of gives you an idea of this digital yuan scenario. the oil prices dropped, and that meant that Angola owed China so much more oil than they owed before, right? So if the price of oil drops in half, they owe twice as much oil to China. And this kind of happened with the prices of a lot of commodities during the pandemic. China raked in because their debt payments that were in resources were given back to China in spades. So if China changes its currency, then they can control what the prices are.
Well, that would be terrifying if 140 countries were all reliant on Chinese currency.